Assalamu alaikum and very good morning my students. I am Nazabed and we will study today human transport system. The main organ of human transport system is heart. Heart is just like a pumping machine, like motor, and it circulates blood throughout our body. Our body is made of cells. Our heart is the main organ that is supplying every cell the main things which are required to make every cell alive. What are those things which are required? These are food, oxygen, water, heat and other nutrients, hormones. If our body is to keep working properly, food, oxygen, water and heat have to be carried from place to place. Carbon dioxide and other waste chemicals have to be carried away from the body to get rid of. And our heartbeat is also the sign of our aliveness. The red liquid, the blood, is a tissue, liquid tissue, which consists of red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets and plasma. Now you will be seeing the disc-shaped red colored cells in this video. Okay, the purple shaped cells are white blood cells and the small white circles are platelets and other things. And these cells are floating in plasma, and this is the inside of a vein. Okay, now you will know the other parts of our heart. I will tell you the names. I will make you remember these names as well. So let's start our video. Okay students, the human transport system is the third chapter of your book Secondary Science, Oxford Secondary Science. Till now we have studied blood. Now we will move to the circulatory system. The human transport system is actually circulatory system because it transports wanted chemicals. What are wanted chemicals? I have already told. These are oxygen, food, water and other nutrients. So the circulatory system transports wanted chemicals and waste chemicals around the body. The circulatory system is made up of the heart, arteries, veins and capillaries. As you already know that our heart is like this. Okay? Our heart has 4 chambers. It has 4 rooms, means 4 chambers. The upper chambers are called atria and the lower chambers are called ventricle. The right atrium and the left atrium. The right ventricle and the left ventricle. So now move to this diagram. This will clearly give you all the description. Okay, our body has 2 types of bloods: oxygenated blood, deoxygenated blood. Actually our blood, when it has more oxygen, it is called oxygenated blood and it is supplied to all body through aorta and it is shown in red color. Okay, our body has the blood because it has more carbon dioxide due to the waste and other chemical reactions in the cells. So that blood is termed as deoxygenated blood. In these pages, the movement of blood through the heart is shown. So the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood diagram is also shown here in this picture. Okay, red blood is showing oxygenated blood and blue blood is showing deoxygenated blood. We will come to this diagram again. First let you go to the survey of blood, how it moves, how blood circulates. Right atrium. First of all, from throughout the body, right atrium is getting all the deoxygenated blood from superior vena cava and inferior vena cava here. So the whole body deoxygenated blood, whether it is coming from head, face, shoulders, or whether it is coming from stomach, digestive system, legs and other body parts. These all deoxygenated blood is collected here where? Right atrium. So the first stop of blood is right atrium. Okay. Right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from the body, sends this deoxygenated blood to the right ventricle. As you know, blood is pumping. As it will pump, this blood, deoxygenated blood, will move down. Okay, where? Right ventricle. This right ventricle will give the blood, will send the blood to lungs. Where? To lungs. Sends the deoxygenated blood to right ventricle. Right ventricle receives the deoxygenated blood from right atrium, and then it sends the deoxygenated blood to lungs so that it can get oxygenated. And which artery is taking this deoxygenated blood? Its name is pulmonary artery. Its name is pulmonary artery. Pulmonary artery. Anything which is related to lung will be termed as pulmonary. Okay. Now in lungs, the blood is fresh and getting oxygen, and carbon dioxide is removed. Okay. Now blood becomes red. It means it becomes oxygenated. Okay. It becomes oxygenated. Now the pulmonary vein brings blood, oxygenated blood, from the lungs to left atrium. Left atrium moves the blood, it contracts, and the blood is shifted to left ventricle. Left atrium pumps, and the blood is given to whole body through this biggest artery called aorta. Now let me clear your concept here. The blood vessel that is bringing blood to heart is called, the blood vessel that is bringing blood to heart is called vein. Is called vein. And the blood vessel that is carrying blood from heart to body, it is called artery. Okay, it is called artery. Let's revise our journey of blood. From the superior vena cava and from the inferior vena cava, deoxygenated blood is getting into right atrium. Right atrium contracts and blood is shifted to right ventricle. Okay, then right ventricle contracts and blood is shifted to pulmonary artery and is given to lungs. Here lungs are taking out carbon dioxide from this and giving it oxygen. Okay, when the blood is completely oxygenated, it is brought back to left atrium. Okay, left atrium contracts and the oxygenated blood is shifted to left ventricle. Left ventricle contracts and pumps and blood is shifted to aorta and is given to whole body. See, head, lungs, heart, stomach, intestine, liver, kidneys, legs. Now these blue colored are veins because they are bringing blood to heart, and these are arteries because they are taking blood away from heart. Okay, now what is this network? These are capillaries. These are very small blood vessels that are helpful. They are the junction from where the cells, each cell of lung is getting oxygen and removing carbon dioxide. This junction is called capillary. This junction is called capillary because the capillary has too much small size that can easily come in contact with the cells of each of our body part. Okay. Question number 1 is, what is the main job of circulatory system? Second is, write the 4 of the materials carried by the blood. Third is, how much blood is there in the body? So the answer of first question is, the main job of the circulatory system is to transport or carry substances around the body. Even you can write the names of the substances, it's up to you. Question number 2 answer is, the material that are carried by the blood include dissolved food, water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, urea and hormones. Question number 3, the average human being has about 5 liters of blood. This is the blood floating in our veins and arteries. What are the 4 parts of the blood? What does hemoglobin do in the body? Why does lack of iron in the diet sometimes lead to anemia? So all the answers will be done likewise. Question number 4 answer is, the 4 main parts of the blood are red blood cells which carry oxygen, white blood cells which help to kill germs, produce substances called antibodies. These kill germs and change the poisons produced by germs into harmless substances. Plasma is the liquid part of the blood. The red and white cells float in it and contain many dissolved substances and hemoglobin as well. Hemoglobin is the protein that is combined with iron which enables the blood cells to carry oxygen. You can see in the picture the oxygen atoms are carried by the hemoglobin molecules. Question number 6 is, if the diet lacks iron, the body may not be able to make enough hemoglobin, so the blood will not be able to carry sufficient oxygen and the person will lack energy. Anemic person has less red blood cells. Now question number 7 is, a drop of blood has just left your lungs. Describe the route. So the answer is, a drop of oxygenated blood leaving the lungs passes to the left atrium of the heart. From there it is pumped to the left ventricle which pumps into the main artery, the aorta. The drop of blood eventually reaches the blood capillaries which carry the blood into the tissues. As the blood leaves the tissues, the capillaries join to form veins. Veins carry the blood back to right atrium of the heart. An artery called the pulmonary artery then pumps the blood to the lungs, to the heart back. Okay. Blood flowing from a cut vein is under very low pressure, so it is much easier to stop the flow of blood than it is from an artery. Blood sprouts from a damaged artery. Question number 9 answer is, because it is under high pressure. Blood in artery is under high pressure and the spurts are caused by each beat or pumping action of the heart. Question number 10 is, all arteries carry oxygenated blood except the pulmonary artery which carries deoxygenated blood. From the heart to the lungs, all veins carry deoxygenated blood except for the pulmonary vein which carries oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. Now question number 10 is done. 11 is, label the diagram. 11 answer, A is pulmonary vein, B is left atrium, C is valve, D is left ventricle, E is right ventricle, F is right atrium, G is aorta or main artery, H is vena cava or main vein, I is pulmonary artery. You can see the diagram as well. Question number 12 is, what is the difference between vein, arteries and capillaries? This is very important question. Question number 13 is, varicose veins, why they are caused. Question number 14 is, why some people are prone to diseases, and 15 is pacemaker. So 10 answer, question number 12 answer is in table form. You have to draw a table in your journals like this. Give the headings arteries, capillaries and veins. First difference is, arteries carry blood from the heart, whereas capillaries, they link arteries to veins, whereas veins, they carry blood to the heart, they bring blood to the heart. Okay, Second difference is they have thick wall. Who have thick wall? Arteries have thick wall. Whereas capillaries walls are just one cell thick. That's why the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide occurs. That is the junction. And the veins have fairly thick walls which contain some elastic fiber. You can see in the diagram as well. Okay. Third difference is walls are present only where arteries leave the heart. Whereas capillaries, they do not have valves. What are valves? Valves are the gates or doors to stop the blood flow. In veins, valves are found in long veins of the arm and legs. Okay. Fourth difference is blood flow in pulses. Second, in capillaries, blood flows steadily, and in veins, blood flows steadily. Blood is under high pressure in arteries, whereas in capillaries and in the veins, it's under low pressure. Other differences you can also add. Question number 13 is, what are varicose veins and what causes their development? Question number 14 is, which type of people are prone to heart diseases? Question number 15 is, what is pacemaker? So let's start at their answers. Now be ready with your journals and start writing the answer of question number 3. The veins have doors to stop the flow of blood. These doors are called valves. So varicose veins are veins that have swollen because the valves in the legs do not work properly. Blood collects in them instead of making its way back to the heart. That's very dangerous. Now 14th question answer is, the people who are prone to developing blood diseases include who are overweight, who eat fatty diet, who do not exercise enough, or who smoke heavily. Some people have an inherited tendency to blood related diseases as well. Question number 15 is very important. A pacemaker. It's a device which produces a small but regular pulse of electricity to the heart to keep it beating steadily. It's needed for a person who has faulty pacemaker. In nature we have pacemaker, na? So they have faulty pacemaker. Question number 16 is, a valve in the heart or a vein stops the blood from flowing backwards. If the valves of the heart do not shut properly, the heart cannot work efficiently. Sometimes a faulty valve can be replaced with an artificial valve. Question number 17 is, level of glucose in the blood is controlled by a hormone called insulin. People who do not produce enough insulin have a disease called diabetes, which is also called sugar. The person with diabetes may feel weak, sleepy, or the level of glucose in his or her body changes. Because fats and muscle proteins have to be used to supply the blood with energy, the person loses weight. Diabetes can be controlled by injection or tablets of insulin, or by careful control of the diet. Last question, question number 8 is very important, that might be heard by you. A heart transplant. What happens when a heart transplant is a lifesaver for someone with heart failure? Sometimes some people's heart dies. That heart, or it has some issues, there is some hole, there is some other problem, so it can be changed. So a heart transplant is a lifesaver for someone who with heart failure. However, it is very difficult to find a replacement heart, usually from someone who has died in an accident, which the patient's own body will not reject. A major operation is needed to transplant a heart, and special drugs have to be taken for the rest of the patient's life to reduce the risk of the body rejecting the new heart. Heart transplants lengthen the life of someone who would otherwise die from a seriously faulty heart. Okay student, this is the video for you. If you have any problem in your studies related science, you can visit my channel, you can subscribe my channel. All the answers are mostly in the description as well. One more thing, I have added my number in the description. You can ask any of your queries by commenting in the comments corner. You're always welcome, and try to work hard to make yourself successful. Take care of everyone. Allah Hafiz. It's my humble request that all of you, my dear students, I need your support. Kindly share my videos to your friends so that my channel subscriptions increase.